You know, in the world of sports, the biggest numbers aren't always up on the scoreboard. Today, we're going to break down the playbook behind the billion-dollar fortunes of the world's highest-paid athletes. And it's a strategy that goes way beyond just playing the game. And honestly, it's more brilliant than you might think. But let's just start with this one kind of mind-blowing question. How is it even possible for one person, one athlete, to make $250 million in just 1 year? I mean, that's over $600,000 a day. It sounds totally made up, right? But it's happening. And hey, we're not just talking hypotheticals here. That number, 275 million bucks. That's what Cristiano Ronaldo is estimated to have pulled in a single year. I mean, that is the staggering scale we are dealing with. So, how in the world does a number like that even happen? Let's break it down. All right, so what's the secret sauce? Here's the game plan for today. First, we'll look beyond the game to understand the mindset of a billion-dollar athlete. Then we'll get into the actual money, the paychecks, and the endorsements. After that, we'll explore how they become owners, this wild new factor that's shaking everything up. And finally, we'll put it all together into the complete billion-dollar blueprint. Okay, first things first. To really get how these fortunes are built, you've got to stop thinking of these superstars as just players. They're a global brand, a media company, and an investment firm, all wrapped up in one person. See, the road to $1 billion, it doesn't really happen on the field anymore. It's built way, way outside the stadium. Now, don't get me wrong, it all starts with being ridiculously good at what you do. Those huge paychecks, the monster playing contracts, that's the foundation, right? That's the seed money and the spotlight you need to build a real financial empire. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. You look at Cristiano Ronaldo, and yeah, that massive playing salary is the biggest chunk of his income. But then you look at Messi and LeBron James. It's the complete opposite. They're making way more money off the court or field than on it. And that, right there, that's the secret to unlocking that next level of insane wealth. Which brings us perfectly to the first huge piece of that off-field puzzle, endorsements. This is basically where an athlete takes their worldwide fame and turns it into cash by partnering with big brands. Their personal brand becomes a money-making machine. So, we're not just talking about a one-time TV commercial here. The really big money is in these long-term partnerships. The athlete becomes a true brand ambassador, completely woven into the company's identity. Just think about how powerful that connection is when you see them. And the absolute smartest athletes, they're not just thinking about their next paycheck. Nope, they are locking in their entire future with these lifetime deals. You've got Messi with Adidas, Ronaldo with Nike. These deals are going to pay them millions and millions every year, even long after they've hung up their cleats. And then you have someone like Stephen Curry, who took it to a whole other level. He launched his own Curry brand with Under Armour, kind of like the legendary Jordan brand at Nike. Now that is how you build wealth that lasts for generations. But, okay, even with these amazing lifetime deals, you're still just getting paid to promote someone else's stuff. The truly elite, the guys like LeBron James who hit that billionaire status, they make a huge leap. They stop being just the face of the brand, and they become owners. And this quote about LeBron just nails it. It's all about getting a cut of the upside instead of a quick paycheck. It's a complete change in thinking, right? Why would you take a one-time payment when you can take equity, a piece of the actual company, and grow with it? You're basically betting on yourself and your own power to make that company bigger. So here's LeBron's playbook, broken down into 3 simple steps. First, he partners up with brands that are ready to explode. I mean, he famously walked away from a huge McDonald's deal to invest in a little pizza chain called Blaze Pizza. Second, he always negotiates for equity, for a piece of the ownership. And third, he starts his own companies. He co-founded Spring Hill Entertainment, which is a whole media company that lets him control his own story. And hey, LeBron's not the only one playing this game. Just take a look at Lionel Messi's portfolio. The guy owns hotels, his own sports drink, a media company, and even an investment firm that puts money into sports technology. This is not a side hustle, people. This is a full-blown global business empire. Okay, so for decades, this was pretty much the playbook. Get the big contract, sign the huge endorsements, and then start owning stuff. But lately, a totally new player has entered the game, and it's changing everything. We're talking about massive investments from sovereign wealth funds, especially from Saudi Arabia, and it's sending salaries in sports like golf and soccer into the stratosphere. If you want to see just how big of an impact this is having, you just have to look at the story of golfer Jon Rahm. Back in 2022, when people asked him about the new Saudi-backed LIV Golf League, he gave this really famous answer. He said, "I play for history and legacy, not money," and he pledged he was sticking with the PGA Tour. Well, just a few months later, Jon Rahm joined LIV Golf. And the price tag they were reporting? Over $350 million. A number so huge it just completely broke the market for top golfers. It just goes to show you the kind of mind-boggling financial power this new factor brings to the table. All right, so let's recap the pieces we've looked at. We've got the giant contracts, the worldwide endorsements, the smart ownership plays, and now this new market-shattering investment money. So if you put all of that together, what does the modern blueprint for becoming a billion-dollar athlete actually look like? Well, it really boils down to a clear four-step formula. Step 1, you have to be one of the absolute best in the world to get those massive contracts that start everything. Step 2, you build a personal brand that's known all over the world so you can lock in those sweet long-term endorsement deals. Step 3, and this is the big one, you make the jump from just promoting products to owning a piece of the action, taking equity and even starting your own businesses. And finally, step 4, you take advantage of these new waves of money, these market disruptors, to land those record-breaking paydays that just weren't possible before. This whole blueprint, it's turning top athletes from just, well, athletes into these incredibly powerful business empires. And all of this really leaves us with one big question to think about. As that line between being a player and being an owner gets blurrier and blurrier, what does that really mean for the future of the sports we all love to watch?